All right, we'll go ahead and get started with the Duke press conference with head coach Corey Muscara and Aiden Weaver, student athlete. We'll go ahead and kick things off with an opening statement from coach, and then we'll open up with questions from the media for the coach and student athlete. Coach, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, anytime your season's over, it's tough. It's tough for the boys. It's tough because you put a lot into each team, But I thought they competed till the end. This guy to the right of me, I thought he threw the ball really well today. He's grown a lot as a person and as a pitcher. And we've made some strides in the right direction. We got work to do. So that's pretty much it right there.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go ahead and open up questions. Start down here.
I guess, when does that work start?
It's continuous. I don't know. In life, you're always trying to get better, right? If you're not trying to get better every day, then what are we doing? So that's kind of how I live my life, and that's how I see things. I think every opportunity is an opportunity to grow and learn, and in some capacity, you should be trying to get better every day at everything,
I want to talk to you about Weaver, obviously, just stepping up into the role that he's been able to do this year for you guys has been impressive. And I want to get an insight from both of you too about how that's been for both parties and how well he threw today.
Start with Coach.
Yeah. Well, why don't we start with Weave? Let Weave answer that question, and I'll pick up the pieces.
A lot of work was done in the fall, and being like the weekend starter was a really big accomplishment for me. I haven't really pitched that much in the last 3 years. But what Moose and Fish have been able to do for me this year has been just nothing like everything I could have hoped for. Really proud of the work we've all put in. And, the guys behind me helped me do it as well. You saw today, throwing the guy out at home, catching guys stealing. It's a whole team effort.
Yeah, as far as Aiden, he's done a lot, He's made delivery adjustments. He's made rubber side adjustments. He's made pitch usage adjustments. The changeup wasn't a highly featured pitch in his arsenal previously, and now it is. He improved his command, and I think his perspective in life got a lot better. Sometimes in life when you need an opportunity, you need some runway, and every situation is different. Some situations present that, some don't. We had that, and I think that was a big piece for him in his development. We really needed him as much as he needed us. And I think in life, when you have partnerships where both parties need each other, it usually tends to work out pretty good because there's nowhere else to go, and I would classify our relationship as I needed him, we needed him, he needed us. Generally, those things work out pretty good.
How bad did you want to get the ball today to start?
I wanted the ball yesterday too. We're just trying to win in advance. I'm not going to get in that large, so just trying to win this game.
Coach, yesterday you mentioned after the game you could get some rest watching videos. Can you kind of go through the process from 2 o'clock yesterday to this morning?
Yeah, again, Aiden talked about having a team, so we have kind of a way that we filter through to expedite the process with our, advanced stats and stuff like that, so we can make decisions faster. So that's step one. And then once we have that stuff in front of us, we just get to work and watch video, so we can familiarize ourselves. It's more about memorization than anything. With the 20-second clock, you really have to understand your opponent. And you're never going to be right all the time because at the end of the day, it comes down to pitch execution. And there's so many things that happen on a singular pitch in a baseball game. There's so many variables. So you can try to joystick it all you want to, but at the end of the day, they have to have belief in what they're doing in order to execute. So our job is just to try to filter through all those things as fast as possible and make the most informed decisions we can as quickly as we can. So for us, our system is getting all that data, putting it on paper, and then, confirming what we see with the numbers on video. It's that simple.
Coach, folks looking from the outside in would look at the numbers for Duke and see the win-loss as not being great. But for you, how successful has this season been knowing how you came in the way you did with trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together as quickly as you had to get to this point?
You know, I look at success a lot of different ways. I think success can be like how you learn. And I look at this year as a blessing because I got to learn a lot of stuff, not just about baseball and our team, but about like anytime you're in a new environment, there's new procedures, there's new protocols, there's new people to meet. Hell, you don't even know how to get the right way home, right? Like everything's new, you know? So I think anytime you're in a new environment, there's a lot of opportunities to learn. And this year was filled with those. And so for me, I feel like we accomplished a lot of things that, you know, don't always show up in a box score, show up in wins and losses, and they will show up in time. So for me, like, again, this whole year for me hasn't been about that stuff. It's been about like, can we get guys better? Can we help their perspective in their life? Can we get our culture right? You know, can we start to lay a foundation for something to build? That's all it's ever been. You know, I mean, how many times you heard me say it, Weave? Like I say it like 100 times a week. That's all I think about, you know? So I'm not worried about all that stuff. I'm just worried about like the small victories every day, you know?
Those the two runners thrown out at home, much of that has to do with what we talked about yesterday of trying to be aggressive offensively and try to kind of push the envelope.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one, you got to send him there. It was a really good throw. Was it Jackson that made the throw? Yeah, it's a great throw. I mean, it's bang, bang play at the plate. Takes a perfect throw. I think you have to go there. I mean, yeah, it's aggressive, but I don't know. I would have been disappointed if we didn't send him, you know? So I think that's a good send. The second one was a weird play. Like he was holding him up, and he kind of like blew through the stop sign, and then the ball bounced away. So he was kind of in no man's land. That was just a broken down play, you know? That's all that was. I don't know that was like us trying to be aggressive as much as it was like a jailbreak. You know what I mean? Like the thing was wild. So yeah, I mean, look, the team we have to find ways to score, and we had to push the envelope. I've been asked this question like 50 times this year, like if we get thrown out stealing a base or we get picked off. But we're trying to do everything we can to find ways to score, right? So we're going to make the teams have to make plays to beat us, you know? Maybe in the future, if I got 7 guys hitting 350 with 20 pumps, we won't do that, you know? But I didn't have that. So I'm not going to sit back here and like wait for it to happen. You know, that's not how I live my life, you know, and I'm never going to make excuses. I'm never going to want my guys to make excuses, and I'm never going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. So with that in mind, like we're going to try to make something happen, you know, and that's the whole ideology behind being aggressive, you know.
Anything else?
Last question. Why do you coach?
That's a good question. So my why personally is to use baseball as a vehicle for these guys to be the best version of themselves. I really loved baseball when I played it. I had a lot of coaches, and as a player, I felt like if I could have some continuity, consistency, and understanding of what I was trying to do, that I could make an impact for others. The funny thing is, like when I started doing this, like I think my dream was to actually coach at Southern New Hampshire University, which is in my hometown. And ironically, that's where I had my first job as an assistant for Coach Lawaza. So it's never been about like being a head coach in the ACC or, you know, being in Omaha. It's literally always been about like, how can you help kids? And I think it's because the game gave me a lot, and I wish I had some continuity. And that's kind of where it all started. And then it's been born into this, you know, 17 years later. But I think sometimes in life, people, they make the result everything, and they don't actually like learn from the process along the way, and they miss all the valuable things that they get from it. And it's easy to do that in college athletics. It's easy to do that when everything is about the win and the loss. But the reality is the win and the loss is how you handle your process every day. How you treat people. Like, you can be competitive as hell, like in an environment to try to teach somebody a lesson or try to get somebody to understand something. I think sometimes all we focus on is the game and the result of the game. But the whole thing with sports is every day is an opportunity to learn something. That's why I do it. I like building teams. I like trying to help these guys be better versions of themselves. I like helping myself grow, my coaching staff grow. I'm interested in building a program, from all aspects of it. If I just wanted to continue being a pitching coach, I would have stayed doing that because it was easier. And a lot of my mentors told me I was crazy to go be a head coach. And they're not wrong. There's a lot more that's on your plate. You know what I mean? But I've always liked challenges. I like growing. I like learning. So this job allows you to do all those things.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a nice day.